In a recent interview with Fox News released on Monday, Ivanka Trump went after AOC's Green New Deal. Now, in the Green New Deal, there is things like a universal basic income and a job guarantee. Now, Ivanka responded with this.
I don't think most Americans in their heart want to be given something. I've spent a lot of time traveling around this country over the last 4 years. People want to work for what they get. So I think this idea of a guaranteed minimum is not something most people want. They want the ability to be able to secure a job. They want the ability to live in a country where there's the potential for upward mobility.
Okay, so a couple things. Now, for one, Americans do want to work. She's right about that. And actually, Americans work really, really hard, but they're not seeing the fruit of that labor. In fact, most of their money ends up going to the top 1%, to people like Ivanka Trump. Now, this kind of program, the job guarantee and universal basic income, would help those who do want to work but either cannot find good jobs or have had their jobs displaced due to technology and now have to relearn a skill. You know what would also help them? Free college education. So to help them retrain for the jobs of the future, right? Now, think of the factory workers displaced by automation, right? Think of someone now who is displaced and who doesn't have any marketable skills because a factory closed down, or not just closed down, or maybe just got replaced by a robot. What is that person supposed to do? Well, this income would actually help give this person a time to retrain, to reskill, to come back and work at a higher paying job. That's the whole point. Or you can think of the coal miner whose job will be eliminated as coal gets phased out. Coal is already deeply unprofitable. It's actually cheaper. Wind power is actually cheaper to generate than coal and is much, much safer. So coal is a dying industry as it is, partly thanks to, of course, alternative energies, as well as natural gas. We have a natural gas boom. So now you got to think of that coal miner, right? What are they going to do? Well, you got to take care of those people, right? Especially if you're going to do something as ambitious as the Green New Deal, you have to make sure that the people in the industries affected are not going to be left behind, because that's the last thing you want to do. So now you want to allow them the dignity of being able to take care of their families and their lives while giving them a chance to retrain for the new economy, right? So, and the whole point of that, of course, is to make sure that they can add to the new economy, as well as making sure that they don't fall into poverty and despair. That's what this is about. It's not about giving money to lazy people. Yet there is a purpose here, to allow that a minimum amount to every human being. And of course, while there will be lazy people who choose not to work, I think a majority of Americans will use these programs to benefit, to better themselves. Now, speaking of lazy, right? The person spreading this message is literally one of the laziest people, because she got her entire fortune handed to her. You know what she did? Pretty much nothing. She basically makes a lot of money from trusts and things that were set up by her family. Weird, right? Now, she's considered to be very successful, and it's strange how that works out for rich people. You get handed a bunch of money when you're born the son or daughter of a rich person, and you get all this respect, but get handed money by the government, and you're a lazy, mooching parasite. Strange how that works, right? Now, the difference is, of course, where you get that money. But in both cases, the money was not earned. It was given. Now, the internet weighed into this, and I love this, right? Cynical Shell says, "Oh, Ivanka, you are way out of your league if you think you can win this debate with AOC. Because AOC crushes all over anyone who ever dares try to question her. Because she is a master of social media. And because she's an actual fighter. And the Republicans are not used to that." Now, Dan Moynihan says, "When Ivanka gets a meeting with a world leader, does she tell herself that it's because she has earned it? What about when she helps to choose the president of the World Bank? Or when China suddenly gives her a bunch of new trademarks? Is that what she thinks meritocracy is? She wouldn't understand meritocracy if it slapped her in the face. Again, she has no real world experience. She has not made her money by herself. It has all been due thanks to family and family connections. And she is a second generation heiress. Now, she would never understand what a meritocracy is. Tim O'Brien says, Ivanka Trump gets lucrative annual streams of income, rents, and capital gains. $1 million here, $5 million here from her biz, her husband's biz, and her father's biz that she largely gets for just sitting there. And O'Brien, of course, is somebody who has chronicled the Trump family. Now, Kazueda says, I suppose you've worked for everything you have. Isn't that right, Ivanka? Good question. Amanda Carpenter says, probably the worst person possible to deliver this message, which doesn't even make much sense. David Douglas says, yes, because people who have nothing always prefer starving over principles. Good point. I'm glad you have such a keen connection with the people. Again, I don't think she's ever met with anyone or talked with anyone worth less than $1 million. Anyway, Hookham says, Ivanka Trump, this may be more idiotic than anything your dumbass dad has ever said. I don't know, man. But at least it sounds somewhat less dumb. At least she can complete say complete sentences. Just saying. All Your Base says she's obviously got her father's knack for the inability to grasp concepts that exceed a 280 character limit or aren't discussed on Fox and Friends. Awesome. Don Hansman says, I'm sure the people who work in her overseas sweatshops only want the pittance she's paid them as well. I forgot about the sweatshops. Oh, man. I can't believe I forgot about the sweatshops. It's true, though. So, it just says so much about a person exploiting labor. And it is absolute exploitation, making sure that these people who work for a living don't even get enough to survive. And she says, well, people want to work. People want the dignity. Right. Oliver says Ivanka Trump, who was at every job given to her by her father her entire life, who by luck was born into the luxury life of a money laundering heiress, needs to sit this one out. I agree. Cheryl Pia says, oh, yes, do tell, princess. KVD says Ivanka is doing stand-up now, and she's pretty good. And finally, Ronald Deffenbaugh says, let them eat cake. Yes. Look, I'm pretty sure like you guys, and like everyone else on the thread, absolutely just love being condescended to by people who literally got handed everything on a silver platter. They didn't earn it. You didn't earn that money. They didn't start from the ground up. I actually have respect to people who have become millionaires and billionaires by actually starting from the ground up. And by the way, it really, really matters how you get that money. If you start a business that crushes everyone, that crushes your employees, that crushes small business, that crushes everyone around you, and exploits the area or destroys the environment in order to do so, then I have no respect for you. But if you actually grow a business, you create a business that is based on paying your workers a fair, a living wage and a good salary while being environmentally conscious, well, then that's awesome. And I think that, that's the way that our businesses are supposed to be. Unfortunately, a majority are not like that. And a lot of our billionaires are not good people. And I think billionaires, it's a failure of the system that creates billionaires, because there should be no such thing. There should be no system where you have 3 to 5 people that are worth more than the bottom 50 to 60% of the country. That system is broken. That system is wrong. It is immoral. But back to these people, right, who think, oh, no, I had everything handed to me. I have a massive advantage. These people are born on third and think they hit a triple. And that's what you see here from Miss Ivanka. Why would anyone in their right mind try to take stock in anything that she has to say on the subject of hard work? She is Marie Antoinette. telling you that everything is fine and that, look, maybe you guys should just eat cake if you're unhappy. Americans are hurting every single day, and we need good policies out there to counter that, right? And to help. And whether you think the Green New Deal is that or not, I don't know. But I think even if we disagree, I think we can all agree that Ivanka Trump is probably the worst person to be sending this message. Because as I said before, she has not earned her way, and she has been given everything in her life and doesn't understand what hard work actually is. She is not one of you. She does not have your best interests at heart. So just be warned. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.